welcome back to the Real Estate Huddle. This is episode 89, and we have some special guests today. This is so exciting for us. The title of this episode is From House Hunting to a Home. And we're here with our awesome, amazing clients, Miguel and Julie. We're so excited to have you guys. And this is a treat because we were able to have the privilege of working with you and working through your transition here to Colorado. And I'm not going to spoil too much, but we're going to kind of dig into your story and, where you guys came from, your journey, of maybe just kind of family history as far as real estate goes and where you are today. And spoiler alert, we did have a successful closing, right? You bought a home here in Denver. And
you are homers.
So we're super excited for that. But yeah, we'll just kind of start from the beginning here, and there's a lot of people listening, that have that mindset of I would really love to get into a house, but I don't know how, and how does this whole process work? And obviously there's a lot of information that you have to know.
Yeah. So. Step one is interview a realtor to help you out, who's going to be your advocate. And you guys took that on by interviewing multiple people.
Yeah.
And can you kind of give us a little insight on that process?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So in January is when we first started talking about, we were already in Denver, and so we were talking about, hey, we should probably look into getting a house. Mm-hmm. And after a couple of weeks of talking, we decided, let's do it. And we're very heavy planners.
Yeah,
we had our spreadsheets already. And when we were doing research into the market here, one of the first things we did was go into YouTube. And so I searched up real estate Denver tips. And to no shocker, you guys showed up on
Yeah, so that's how we stumbled upon you guys. Prior to that, we had started going to open houses, so we got some realtor information that way, and then some other ones online. I think in total we had maybe 5 or 6 people that we talked to. We wanted to get a good breadth of what do you guys know, what's your area of expertise, and is the fit the right fit for us?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome.
So we had a spreadsheet, and we gave some calls and kind of gave them heads up yo, this is kind of like an impromptu interview.
It really was. Our spreadsheet had questions that we asked everyone. So we had the call with you, and you had the same questions that we asked every realtor that we talked to.
I remember that call. I remember where I was when we had that call, actually. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Something that really attracted us to you, Landon, was that you were very technical about it. Mm-hmm. You immediately had, even though it was such an impromptu call, you weren't ready for it, you already had the data and the statistics to tell us about. So that was very impressive.
Yeah, I will say not everyone was as prepared. I feel like especially with the questions that we asked, we were pretty technical and we didn't sugarcoat anything. We wanted to see how they would react because we are very much like that in the process. I'm sure you guys felt that.
Yeah.
And you just felt the most comfortable. You knew what you were talking about, which was nice.
Oh, that's great. That's so good to hear. We love planners, just people that really think things out and plan. And you've already said spreadsheet 4 times in the first 5 minutes of this process. And so we know that you're just very organized, and sometimes people like that just have the best experience because you really map things out financially, and you want to know everything that's expected in the process, so there's no surprises. And so we try to really prepare people like that, but not everybody prepares themselves like that. So it's really cool to see that from you guys.
And for those listening at home, Landon is the only non-engineer in this room right now. So for him to come up with the data to be able to support the engineering inquiry, kudos. So,
well, luckily I'm a numbers guy. I love
real
estate sales, but so much of helping people and guiding people and consulting is just knowing the market, knowing your numbers. So we take a deep dive on that once a month, and then a little more narrow dive once a week. And so we have systems that help us be up on our numbers, and that's part of why we want to have those answers for people we work with right when they ask. So that's great. So glad you felt that way.
Yeah. After the phone calls was when we did the in-person meet where we met Brock for the first time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Brock came in with a jacket that had a specific company logo who I worked for. So right off the bat, I was like, hey, this is pretty interesting. This is great.
There's a connection there that formed before you guys even started to talk, which was cool.
Exactly. so we met with you guys in person. We also met with one other realtor in person.
In person, yes.
And
It came down to 2.
yeah, so it came down to 2, and we were split half and half between, okay, well, how technical of a realtor do we want versus do we want someone who's more
I feel like we made a decision and we're very data driven, which is why we ultimately went with you guys. The other one was more about the feeling, which is important, but you guys emphasize like that happens when you start going to see the houses. You get to a feel of what the house is like, whether you see yourself living there, and the other realtor didn't really give us any of the data information that we wanted. It was more so like, what are you looking for? And part of it is like, oh, I want an island, or I want something like that looks like this. But we wanted to make sure financially we're making the smartest decision that we could make.
Yeah.
And the other thing was you guys were able to play both sides, so that was perfect.
Yeah, that's a nice thing about being on the team is having that balance of everything. So,
So that's actually something that intimidated me at first. Was as I was being very young, we were like, well, in general, our realtor is going to take us a little serious, right? And with Remax being a team and a larger organization, we were a little intimidated by that. But thankfully, after we met with you guys, you explained all the benefits that came with being part of a team.
Yeah.
And maybe a couple spoilers from later, but like you guys were able to leverage those those other contacts to our advantage. So
that's awesome. Yeah, and listeners may be wondering like why would you have 2 realtors involved, right, in the process? And so like I can highlight a little bit of that, right? Is just like we want people to have like the ideal experience, because so often like people will work with one, right, and that one may be really busy and they don't have time for you, or you may work with one that's kind of newer in the business and they have all kinds of time but no expertise.
Yeah.
And so we really like to like provide the best of both worlds, and have that. And I'm like repeating myself to you guys, right? But for our listeners, like just making sure that we're, getting you through homes when you want to see them, and also providing like the expertise, from both of us, because we both have different backgrounds, different experience. And then you get, kind of that converging like opinion of like, okay, this is a great investment, great house, especially if it's data backed, to help you make a great decision so that you can not buy a lemon, right, but buy something that's going to appreciate over time and just be a great investment for you. So,
and turned out that the home that they ended up purchasing, that agent had previously done a deal with you, and she recognized your name, and she's like, "Oh, I really enjoyed working with Landon." So for her to like have that reassurance really broke down the barriers, especially in the negotiation phase. So it was a really important thing to have that history, and your reputation speaks for itself. So that was awesome. So
that's awesome. That's great. I'm glad it benefited you guys, and that's what's most important. So good deal. Well, tell us a little bit. We're going to backtrack a little bit and just go backwards.
Yeah.
Like, tell us a little bit about like kind of your like family history as far as real estate goes, and also just like where you came from, and tell us that journey a little bit so that our listeners can kind of understand where you came from.
Yeah. I'm from San Diego, California, and I was one of the first in my family to get a house. Previously, we did live at my grandmother's house, but it was just everybody packed in the house. It was a 2-bedroom house, and it was like 10 of us. Wow. So it was very packed. And going through the home buying process, it was a little scary just because we were the first ones in the family. Again, though, really glad we went with you guys.
Yeah, as for me, I grew up in the Central Coast in California, in the Salinas Valley area. Very small agricultural-based towns there. And my parents did own a home. We got our home back in 2005. So I feel very lucky that I had that experience of growing up in a home, one sibling, so not too much to share there. But the housing market dynamics have really changed from when my parents got their house to what it looks like now. And I went to school in San Jose, so I knew that I was likely going to have to stay either in or near a city. The pricing difference of a house in a city is very different from living where I grew up.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's great. That's awesome. Well, and we feel so fortunate. Like, I don't know if you surveyed like 100 buyers and asked them like how many realtors did you interview to like start this process. I would say like maybe like 2% would say up to 6.
Yeah.
So like I feel like we went through the realtor Hunger Games to be able to work with you guys. It's awesome. So we're so glad and that you made the journey, and it's so cool, right? Being like a first generation home buyer is just awesome, because the benefits and just like the blessings that come from owning a home, with just that appreciation over time, and also tax benefits and like all the other things that we've mentioned here on the podcast, like those things are huge, and hopefully that just continues to be a great blessing that like is exponential for you guys in your financial life. So
yeah, and especially with us having gone through the process already. If any of our other family members were to go through it, we already went through it, so we could explain our experience and give them tips as well.
Yeah, and friends too. I feel like we're one of the first in the friend groups to purchase a home.
So it breaks down a lot of barriers for the future generations.
it's awesome.
And,
That's cool.
and we have to say, these two are expert movers. How many times did you actually
Oh, my
move?
goodness.
So I've never seen on like the final walkthrough on closing day where they have like 90% of their property already packed up and in the garage. I was like, this is impressive. When you said you were an expert mover, but yeah, you're on top of it. You guys moved what, 5 times?
5 times sounds right in 2 years.
In 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
a lot.
We were living a little bit in San Diego, then we moved up to the Bay for some work stuff, and then finally made the move out here. But between just these 3 places, 5 moves.
See,
Wow.
Yeah.
So to have a place that's yours and a garage and all the
Yes.
fun, like that's a strong anchor point for you guys. So
Very nice.
It was funny the first time that you guys asked us like how much square footage we were looking in the house, and we were like, oh, well, as long as it's bigger than like 800 square feet.
It's not the first time we've heard that from California buyers
Yeah.
or New York, right? They're just like,
Yeah.
I've lived in a 400 square foot condo, so anything bigger than that's fine. So that's the cool thing about coming from those big cities to Denver, right? Is it just like, it seems like, hey, this is a good deal. Like things are on sale. So, it's kind of nice. So that brings me to my next question. Like, what attracted you to Denver? Why move here?
So my company has a program where once you join the program, you're able to relocate to anywhere where there's a headquarters for the company.
Cool.
And there was a lot of options: Alabama, Texas, Florida.
And for context, I'm a software engineer, but I work fully remote, so I was comfortable with moving around.
So you're along for the ride because you could be flexible in that aspect.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
Cool.
Yeah,
But when it came down to it, again, with our list, we were looking at all the states and what they had to offer. For me, a big thing was climate. Certain climates scare me. So Colorado just seemed golden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
You could have been on the beaches in Florida with palm trees swaying.
Could have been, but with the
attractive.
humidity.
Yeah, I visited Florida a couple years back for a conference, and I could not stand outside for longer than like 10 minutes. So
Yeah.
it's like, I don't think it's going to work out in the long run.
We're just going to be friends, Florida.
Yeah, exactly. I'll go every once in a while.
Yeah, that's great. Well, for our listeners, like the best kept secret is our climate here. Honestly, people think it's cold and freezing, and like we got like 2 or 3 really cold months during the year, but like and snow, but then it melts away quickly, and then we have all this sunshine. Right? It's just 300 plus days of sunshine, which is awesome.
Yeah, we came over here in middle of October, and so it gave us just about like 2 weeks to get ready for the winter weather.
Yeah.
But it was hilarious though, because through that time we were trying so hard to explain to our families that it's not like Antarctica over here. Like it's the weather is reasonable. It's pretty good.
They all thought it was freezing.
Yeah, and so they were like, "Oh, did it snow today?" No, there was like 70
sunshine.
degrees outside.
I had to carry a light coat because the sun went down and I was a little cold, right? And so someone who grew up in the Midwest, like the winters there are extended periods of time and the sun is not really out because the summertime days are real long, wintertime days are really short, and it's cold for an extended period of time and the snow sticks around. So coming here, I remember we got like a 15-inch snowfall and like 3 days later I could see the grass and I'm like, how is this possible? So it was really foreign to me. So it was.
Snow's not a commitment.
Yeah.
And I really want to reiterate that because through our time that we were here and it hadn't snowed yet, or even before coming here, we kept hearing that, the snow evaporates, right? Snow melts, snow melts immediately after it does snow. And we would hear it, but we'd be like, oh, like, we're not
really
sure, like maybe it's exaggeration or anything. But no, it definitely is real. And
That's awesome.
really thankful for that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's great. So we established why Denver, right? Now we want to hear about like the process of finding the right home, and just how that went for you guys. Obviously, we had our meeting to kind of set off here's the process, here's what we usually do. What were some of the things that were helpful in that process of finding the correct home?
Yeah. I think starting off with understanding the different areas, because we were obviously new, so we were pretty limited. We just knew Denver and Highlands Ranch, which is where our apartment complex was. So we had, when we reached out to you guys, given you like a vague idea of where we wanted to be, but honestly, we didn't know much details about each place. So it was really nice going to the different areas and looking at homes in different areas and understanding what that means and like figuring out what community is going to be the right fit for us.
Yeah, you guys were definitely very helpful with that, especially when we were touring homes and we were like, hey, Brock, let's go see this one. And it was like 20 minutes away or like.
Yeah, versus one that was like 40 minutes away. So. Yeah,
so you never said like, hey, that one's too far. Like, hey, that might not meet our schedule. You always met at work. So really thankful for that.
Awesome. That's great.
It can be flexible.
Yeah. Is engineers flexible?
I want a copy of that because that's going to be
I'll have to relay that to Charity.
Yeah, please.
So what neighborhoods did you guys consider, and what like cities, neighborhoods were you considering, and why?
Ken Carroll was definitely one of the top choices.
Okay.
Just seemed very relaxed, not too close to the city, but if we ever wanted to go to the city, we could. Very close to work for me.
We considered Lakewood, like the Centennial area, but I think that's like going high wise. Lakewood was as far high as we wanted to go. We wanted to be on the outskirts of the city, just. From going to school in San Jose, I knew I didn't want to be right in the city.
Yeah.
And honestly, Lone Tree wasn't even something that we were considering. It was more so like Littleton, like that border area. So when we went to the house that we purchased, it was really surprising because we hadn't even considered that area until we went to go see it.
Yeah, and I think where you guys purchased, you guys also had kind of a goal to be kind of closer to the airport so you could kind of get to that. And then kind of like an unknown thing for accessibility is like distance from a freeway. Is like how close, how quickly can you get to your shopping areas, but how close can you get on a freeway and travel a great distance at a short period of time?
Exactly.
And I think you guys really hit that sweet spot of all of those things. So you're, quick access, you've got a lot of shopping area close to you, and the airport is literally just, you're 25 minutes away, I think. So you get to you covered all those bases all in that area. So, and areas where we're looking at like Lakewood and a few others, there were some other features of the neighborhoods that were a benefit, but may not have had all of those. So.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And you definitely helped us with the choices of what areas we wanted to go see. Could you remind me of the area we went to go see a house, and it had a lot of like foundation or like movement?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we toured a few homes that like kind of the Winchester house in San Jose, that kind of has the unusual builds where the stairs were different heights because things were kind of moving. So. And that was an education process because Colorado, we have expanding soils, and there are certain periods of time in certain neighborhoods where the builders didn't understand how to work through that. And you see that in floors being really sloped and foundations, walls being cracked. You see that in windows and doors that don't open or close properly. And, there were some homes where we were very quick to go in, and we had time, so we turned that into a learning experience. And you guys like to absorb that information, so kind of walked around. I never did pull out the golf ball to like roll the ball around to see, but I think the vertigo we got in some of the sloped basements, we noticed that like, hey, this isn't, would this be a good investment? And I think you guys were really receptive to that. So
and we're so thankful that you were able to call those things out, because for us, the first impressions right as soon as we walk into the house is, does it look nice or not, right?
Yeah.
But you immediately were like, okay, let me look at the window seals, let me look at the door frames, see if anything's off. So.
The slope of the house. Like there's things that you pointed out that I can't unsee anymore. So when I'm walking around, I'm like looking at stuff.
They're giving the tours now. They're able to do it. So.
Yeah. Well, every experience is like spreadsheet entry, right? Like data entry. But like when we go through homes, like we realize that we're risk mitigators. Like we help people mitigate their risk. And it's so costly to buy a home that's structurally impaired in our market. It's just with our expansive soils. So like that's the ultimate that we want to help you avoid. But also inspections are kind of expensive these days, right?
Yeah.
But it's like $600 plus a radon test plus a sewer scope. Like you're spending $1,000, just to like find out if it's good or not, sometimes. So if we can kind of mitigate that risk too of the extra expense of doing that a couple times before you find the one, it's good to know that stuff that you would have found out later on the inspection, I think. So that's great. Awesome. So ultimately, after looking at all those areas, what made you narrow it down to the one in Lone Tree?
Yeah. So we were between two houses, one in Lakewood. One in Lakewood and then one in Lone Tree. And really just the concessions we were able to get in the Lone Tree one was what really hit the mark for us. We'll get into that in a bit, but we're really thankful we chose Lone Tree because the accessibility to everything is insane. Just the other day, we kind of just sat back and we're like, wait a second. Ever since we moved in, we haven't really leave the area because of how close everything is.
There.
It's so nice.
Yeah, and it's very different from how I grew up because living in a small town, we would have to go 25 to 30 minutes to the nearest city to buy certain things and then just like stock up, bring it back. That way we don't have to make multiple trips.
Yeah.
Whereas here, if I need something, if I forgot something, I could just drive 5 minutes to the store, come back, and it's so convenient.
Yeah, that's awesome. 5 Starbucks within a quarter mile. That's great. And for our listeners, like Lone Tree is like the hot spot. That's like just the ultimate hub right at the south side of the tech center. That's right by Park Meadow Shopping Resort, which is like one of the biggest malls in the country. And then you've got also you're bordering up to Hounds Ranch, which is a community with tons of parks and tons of like open space trails. Like you have the outdoors aspect, but you also have like all the commercial you would ever need, right there, which is pretty cool. And about 20 minutes south of downtown, on I-25. So pretty close to all the jobs and everything too. So you picked a phenomenal location that's absolutely going to, appreciate and value over time. So that's pretty awesome. It's cool.
No, and I think that was kind of the appeal once you guys, and that was one of the other things in the market that we're in, we were able to kind of, okay, you saw the house, you guys go analyze your spreadsheets and kind of try it on, if you will, right? And kind of see if that fits. And I think one thing, kudos to you guys, is you really did a good job of like, let's go see what the neighborhood's like. And that you just took a walk in the neighborhood and kind of got a feel for what it was after you'd already seen the house, right? And, walking through homes where we're able to look at, okay, all the big ticket items are taken care of here, right? So as far as planned costs, you're talking like maybe some cosmetic things or an aerator in a sink faucet that doesn't quite work right. Little minor things, right? You're not, I got to put a new roof on. I need to run all new electrical, that type of stuff, right? Yeah. So you had a really good expectation what your cost was going to be with the home and what your improvements if you wanted to. But also you try it on the neighborhood and hopefully your tennis game has improved since then. So, but
working on it.
So, but you guys, you really took the analytical approach first, and then once that checked the boxes, then you went and tried on the neighborhood, and I think that's really what helped solidify a lot of things for you guys. And I kind of like to do that and just no pressure on that one, but then. I kind of had a good feeling about it, but, obviously you guys are the ones making the decision. I'm just your advocate. So it was a fun process. So
yeah,
it's awesome. So down to brass tacks, now the offer, right? Like the whole offer experience, negotiations. What do you guys remember from that experience? And tell us a little bit about the details.
Before the home that they actually got, we did go into a house that was really nice, and it had checked all of your boxes in Littleton, really close to high school. I'm blanking on the name.
High School or Arapahoe, Dakota Ridge, Columbine.
Columbine, thank you.
Go.
Columbine High School. I'm like, it's associated. Yeah, okay. Columbine, really close to that, and it was beautiful. But this was a home that had, I think, 13 offers, if I remember right. It was a multiple offer situation, and it was getting bid up, and really, it was a stressful situation. But I think we kind of got that sense, and It's like, okay, well, we put our hat in the ring to see what happens, but you know, a cash offer at like $50,000 over the asking price, and it was like, hey, now we know, and we kind of just let that one ride, and you know, we had that experience. So, but that was probably kind of traumatizing a little bit.
It was because after realizing how much the house sold for, it was hard for us to be like, okay, like it was the perfect house, but it was perfect because it was outside of our price range.
Yeah.
Yep.
Understanding that part. And also, I think we're pretty good at keeping like a, I don't know how to call it, but like I loved the home as soon as I walked into it, but I didn't start envisioning myself, like putting stuff in there or the future there specifically until we had a better sense of like, is this gonna work out? Is this gonna go through or not? Which I would think it's a really smart thing to do when purchasing a home because it's really emotional.
That's awesome. That's such good advice. And we like to tell, I don't know if we told you guys this, but we like to say like, hey, you can fall in like, but don't fall in love with the home, right? Like, don't just like be smitten by it because then it hurts our ability to negotiate on your behalf. Right. So that's awesome that you have that mindset.
Yeah. And you guys are very well grounded. Like your finances obviously drive. You guys are very financially astute, which gives me real good hope for the future here. And just knowing that and you're just really grounded to that situation because you have financial goals outside of just being a homeowner, which you guys really played that into, okay, does that help align with all of our goals? So kudos to you guys for doing that and, you know, not overpaying by $50,000 because you fell in love with a home.
Yeah.
So, and that was all on your doing, so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Pretty cool. Well, and a lot of our listeners are thinking, like, if they know anything about Lone Tree or like the area, they're probably thinking, oh my gosh, like the price points are really high there, you know. And you guys were able to find a home for offered $612,000, right, on this place. Yeah. Yep. So, tell us a little bit about that. I know you'd mentioned earlier the closing costs that you were able to get. What was the mindset going into that, and just a little detail about that whole story.
And just really quickly before we even jump into that, I did want to give you guys kudos because honestly, the process was on our end relaxing. Like there wasn't much for us to do except give insight or give our opinion, and you guys kind of worked out the rest. So it's great. Really nice to be able to say that.
Wow. That's nice to hear that.
Yeah.
We love hearing that. It's awesome. That's our goal. So
we can take the most stressful purchase down to a relaxing situation.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I really try and do is like what to expect. I think during inspection, right, like you get the 100-page inspection report. That's a very emotional time to be like, this house that I really, really like has all these things that someone's saying is bad about it, right? So it's like, hey, that's okay. This is a normal low point. Yep. Yeah. And I think we kind of cover those hill and valleys, and it's always nice to know that you're normal, right? Like your feelings that you have are normal in this situation. And like with the offer process, so we had to go through a few different rounds of things, but ultimately I think it worked out to your guys' advantage. So so we'll get into the kind of the specifics. I think we're at $612 for the price of the home, and then we requested a full 2-1 rate buy down. So, and if I remember that was over 10 grand in concessions.
13.
13.
Yeah, 12, 13 sounds right.
Okay. So we had that, so $612 less that concession from the seller to be able to give to you, so you guys could buy your interest rate down for the first 2 years, 2% for the first year and 1% for the next year. So save you guys money out of pocket. And so that was our initial offer, and then that got countered. And I think they came back, and I want to say it was like $4,000 or $5,000 for concessions, which was they cut more than half of your concession off, and that's when we really rolled up the sleeves. You guys were like, we like the house, but we really want the concession, and financially that saved you a lot of money. So fortunately the realtor had done a deal with Landon, and I really kind of leaned into that a little bit. Also, the realtor's spouse worked at our mutual employer at one point in time here, so kind of tried to pull out all of the personal connections as we could. But it was probably a 3 or 4 day period where we really went in and went back and forth, and I think I had probably 4 hours worth of phone calls with this other agent, and we were able to get to that point where they agreed to that. But they were concerned about inspection items being limited, which makes sense. And if you're going to give $13,000 away right off the initial price, they don't want to do another $20,000 worth of repairs.
Right.
And after seeing the home and kind of walking through that, we evaluated our risks. Like, what does this mean? And you guys were kind of okay moving forward because the home has really been updated a lot. They've done a lot of different things. They've replaced a lot of parts. All the big items were taken care of. So I felt like it was a pretty low risk. So you guys had said, were willing to take that risk. So we went on and moved forward, and we finally got that one under contract. So,
awesome.
And then we moved through inspections. So, and it was real minor stuff. So, and
inspection was definitely probably the lowest moment of it. Just realizing, like, even those things that are normal within a house, our houses we grew up in probably had the same thing.
Yeah.
But it was just like, wow, like this house has this, but Brock came in and it's like, oh, this is okay. It's not bad.
Yeah.
And to any small ticket items, you went through the process of researching it for us, calling your contacts. I think you called the HVAC, was it?
Called so like when we were there at inspection, the furnace was short cycling. So it was trying to start and then it would shut off like 10 seconds later. And I'm like, okay, it's this model furnace. Talk to an HVAC person. They're like, oh, 99% of the time it ends up being this part. And I'm like, how much would it cost to do that? So I'm trying to get a budget and then give a margin in there and say, hey, the risk you guys are looking at is probably somewhere close to this on average based on that. So that way you guys could budget that and say, okay, how much risk are we taking on? It's not, do I need a $20,000 furnace now, right? So you were able to assume that and take on that risk, but also with some evidence or education about it. So, because like you said, growing up, when I'm 6 years old, I don't worry if the furnace isn't working or not, right? If the furnace is short cycling, it doesn't mean anything to me. If I'm cold, I put a blanket on, right?
Yeah.
So it was nice to have that information because as first-time home buyers, right, it's part of an education process. So, and I enjoy doing that. I really enjoy kind of helping you walk through that process and see what it is. And you guys, I think we on walkthrough, we did our first home improvement and sealed up the venting and
tape.
we sealed off some of the vents and everything else. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah, really helped us a lot, which is, as a first-time home buyer, probably the best thing you could have.
Yeah.
That's great.
And you told us what the issue was with the sensor. As soon as we moved in, ordered it on Amazon. It was just removing a screw, changing the sensor, and putting back one screw, and really easy.
Good.
Yeah,
So,
That's awesome.
nice.
It helps that you're electrical. I wouldn't.
The electrical engineer.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't all peaches during the inspection, right? There was a sewer issue that came up.
Yeah,
So-
that was the biggest thing, and our biggest concern. And you brought it back to the seller, and I don't know what you guys worked out, but they were able to cover the cost of that.
The seller didn't know that there was a sewer issue, but there was a issue underneath the house and at the connection to the city. And they had already replaced the sewer, but it was in between those sections. So it was just on the outsides of that where they had some issues. And it's fairly common, but when you had a sewer line replaced, you think you're good. And so they were able to work that. And the people that they hired to do it were really good, great communicators. Like the only person that I've known that has like edited a video or like spoke through the video and commentary as they're like, yeah, okay, here's the bend going into the house and here's this and here's that. And worked out real well. So, and they took care of all the details and repaved the road where they had to dig it up. So, but yeah, thank you guys for being patient with that. And I know that was kind of probably a little bit of a scary situation, but
scary,
they walked through it and they replaced all that cast iron piping and got rid of it. So,
Well, and thank you to our listeners too. Like some advice. Always do a sewer scope. So thank you for taking our advice on doing the sewer scope. Not everybody does, but you find stuff like this that was like a $4,000 to $6,000 item, that was able to be paid for by the seller instead of finding that out, in a couple of years when the sewer backs up. So
that was additional. Yeah, I want to say it was probably $8,000 or $9,000.
Yeah.
So
wow.
it wasn't a small bill. So
that's huge.
And what's a sewer scope? $150 or $100? Yeah, it mitigated, $10,000 worth of work. So I think that was a good investment. So,
for sure.
For sure. Awesome. Well, now that you're settled in, like after inspection, you did we had appraisal, final walkthrough, got to the closing process. What was that like, the closing day for you guys?
It was really sweet for me.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll explain why later.
I was really excited. I was really excited. Honestly, a part of me didn't believe it until we were there signing, just because it's something that we've been working really hard for. So actually, like finalizing it was a little surreal.
awesome.
But for me, the moment where like it really hit me was after signing. We went back like almost immediately, and we took our puppy with us, and we let him loose in the yard.
Nice.
And just like that moment of the three of us out there, like taking in that this is our home was amazing.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
Our puppy immediately knew as soon as he walked into the door. Like it's like somebody told him that this is our house. He was so excited. Yeah, it was a great moment.
Tail's going nuts.
Yeah.
We're all excited. That's
My kids
awesome.
affectionately call that wiggle butt. So.
Well, that was cool. It was fun. We got to take some fun pictures with you guys at closing, and you were so nice to bring us those treats, and like, the cookies were amazing. So thank you so much for that.
So yeah, that's a trademark of ours. I like to do homemade cheesecake, so I did that, and you actually surprised us with some homemade. And what was the pastry? What would I affectionately call that? It was like I had like a raspberry cream or strawberry cream.
Yeah, it was a strawberry jam.
Jam,
Some
okay.
homemade strawberry jam, and the cookie was like a hard sugar cookie type of.
Okay,
Yeah.
So good.
it was very
Awesome.
tasty.
Kind of a family recipe that you've had in your family?
Goes
for a while?
back centuries.
my mom was the one that started baking those
that's
cookies,
cool.
and they were just a hit. So me and my sister learned how to make them. And
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's how they reeled me into the family. They
Give
had
you some
cookies, and I was like,
cookies.
"Yo,
That is a really good reason. I appreciate it. I'm right there. So I was looking for openings, but hey, my kids are very excited as well. They were.
That's great.
I had to cut them up to divvy them out because there wasn't enough to go around. So yeah, that was actually quite the treat. So, and it was very emotional working with you guys and being able to get you through that process and coming from your humble beginnings and the way where you grew up and being able to see you guys come into that home ownership. And the funniest part, I think, I don't know if it was a couple days after closing, Miguel sent me a text with, "Here's all the things I've done for my home improvements already." He was just so excited to just
awesome.
roll his sleeves up and go to town.
That's great.
That just made me laugh because it was we have been exchanging during the process YouTube links to like, hey, this is how you handle this situation, or here's some YouTube University tips and some other folks to try and help you, because that's the beautiful thing about home ownership. If you can't, someone's done it before, so you can figure out how to do it. And
Right.
I know we had many of those conversations, but the fact that you had a list already checked off it right away was great. So
I kid you not, the whole experience, like, it was amazing. Couldn't have been better. And you kind of felt like a dad to us. Just giving us all the knowledge and just being very caring in general.
Yeah.
So much so that the day before closing, I looked at Julie and I was like, let's just back off of the offer just to keep this going. Just to keep hanging out with him.
That's awesome. That's so cool. Well, Brock is pretty old, so that makes sense. Yeah, you see some gray hairs.
I get a Sharpie.
No, that is really cool. That's special. I appreciate you guys saying that. And I think Brock's just like has a heart of gold. Like, I've known Brock for like almost 15 years now. It's been a long time. But
Are you 15 years old?
But we've been friends for a long time, and just like the way he cares for people, and just like he's the cheesecake man,
Yeah.
like he's just always like thinking about other people. He's also the birthday man, like just knows people's birthday. Like, it's unbelievable how thoughtful this guy is. So couldn't be more true there. So awesome. Well, any hot spots, like cool places in town that you really like to like frequent now, or that you've discovered since you moved in?
Yeah, I think one of our favorites that we've gone back to a lot is downtown Littleton.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really nice to walk around. There's this cute little bookstore that I like to go to. Our favorite Mexican spot is right there.
Oh, nice. What's it called? Do you
I
remember?
wouldn't be able to tell you off the bat.
There's probably only one on Main Street. So
Yeah, I labeled it.
Okay.
I could tell you later, but I don't
I just
know
love
off the
Mexican
top of my
food, so I'm gonna check it out. For
head.
sure.
Yeah.
So to the left of it is a fuzz spot.
Yes.
So
Okay.
And in front of it is that bookstore.
Yeah.
So
Right by the bookstore on Main Street. Okay, I got it.
Yep.
Cool.
Love going there.
That's awesome.
Also love getting Indian food at Golavari, which is not too far from here.
Mm-hmm.
So when we found out that we'd be close to it, we were like, this is dangerous. Our other spot, from when we first started dating, we started going to a Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, nice.
And again, like maybe like a 5-minute drive. And I was like, this is dangerous. It's not good.
Dangerous, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
But definitely need some more time to explore.
Yeah.
We've been so busy in the house.
Yeah.
Especially with spring coming up, and now everything's growing.
Yeah.
Before I was like, I want to see the grass, I want to see green, and I'm like, okay, slow down.
A lot of gardening.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, those are like our frequents. But as like one-time places that we've gone, we went to visit like the Red Rocks Amphitheater,
Yeah.
which is really cool.
Yep.
We went to the botanical garden. We went to the museum.
Cool.
Yeah, a lot of the touristy spots we already
That's
hit
awesome.
up.
Just have you gone to Red Rocks for a show or just going to?
No, I'm waiting to
Scope it out.
see what artists, because the
Yeah.
ones that have been there since we got here, it's only been like 4 or 5 months. We haven't seen any major ones that we want to see
Yeah.
yet, but I'm keeping an eye out.
That's awesome. That's cool. Yeah, we just saw Forrest Frank there like 2 weeks ago, and it was unbelievable. It was such a cool atmosphere. So
Yeah.
very cool. Well, awesome. What advice would you give to people that are looking to buy a house and go through this process here in Denver?
Definitely do your research. Get acclimated with the terms. Granted, if you have a really great team like the Dreamsmith team, you don't need to know as much, but it comes in very handy. Definitely interview realtors, and you'll come to find out that these are the best.
That's awesome.
And then, I mean, this is part of that process, but visit different neighborhoods, like walk around different neighborhoods. If you specifically like certain areas, like certain parks, or like to be close to certain hotspots, then it's good to check those out for the houses as well.
That's awesome.
To be very transparent and very have a lot of communication with your realtor. You know, the more they know about you, the more they know what your tastes are,
Yeah.
the better they're able to help out.
And if you don't feel like sharing things with the realtor, maybe you're not working with the right person.
Yeah,
Like you
totally.
want to feel like that person's on your side, that like anything you share can like help you, right? And they can help you through
Right.
that process. So
Yeah, I think that was like after our first round of looking at homes, I think what I want to say, like my goal was I want to be able to pick the home for you guys before you even know you like it, because I really want, like I'm watching all of your reactions, like, oh, I really like the way this kitchen's laid out, or if we walk into a particular home and you're like, the windows are too small, and I'm like, well, 1970s ranch homes are off the list, right? We could tell that.
Yeah.
And what you guys were willing to take on for home improvements versus what to see past, and that's something that I really am like trying to observe a lot when you guys are looking at your first few homes, because especially living in an apartment in Colorado, you hadn't been through too much other than some of the open homes that you had been through. So,
Right.
and we narrowed down a lot of things pretty quickly after doing that. So
Yeah, very. I think our first time going out, we visited like 5 houses on one day, so that gave a good broad idea of what we liked and what we didn't like.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's cool. Well, I think one of my favorite things that you guys said was just like that you took a walk around the neighborhood, because I think it's so cool that you did that. Not many people do that when they're in the home buying process, but just like getting that feel for like, do I want to live here? Like, is this the place where I want to, raise a family or like live, a good amount of years, my days. So that's really cool. And you guys are just amazing examples, I think, for people of how to, just recapping like your experience, right? Like you planned, you did a ton of research up front, you watched videos, and you can learn so much on YouTube these days. So we're so glad that you found us there and that we had the opportunity to meet you through YouTube. But just looking for that local expert, right? Someone that can help you, guide you through the process, and then, trusting that, in each step of the way, like, doing your research and also like trusting experts to get you into a great situation. So we're so excited for you. And you bought a house right next to a tennis court. So you've been
Yes, we did.
working on your tennis game a little bit.
Yeah. We'll invite you
awesome.
soon.
Awesome. Yeah,
they're getting ready to compete now. You can tell they're already there. So
That's great. That's so cool. Well, it's been great. We've loved hanging out with you guys, through the process, and definitely doesn't end. Like we always feel like closing's like kind of the start of things, so we look forward to just establishing a great relationship with you and having you out to some of our fun events that we do around town as well. And we've got some fun stuff coming up that we'll share with you. So awesome. Well, thanks for listening. Really appreciate you guys. Any closing thoughts before we head out here?
It definitely does feel like a family. Inviting us to events even after closing. So it's an amazing experience.
Yeah, and being one text away, because you've been really responsive even after we closed, so appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, I've got adopted kids that they've already gone through college, so I'm doing better there. So
Yeah. I might go for my master's.
oh well, I know who will pay for that then.
Brock's not hard to find, which is nice. Yeah, he usually answers the phone every time I call him too, so I don't know how he does it, but that's awesome. Well, thanks so much, you guys. And for our listeners, if you're thinking about relocating to Denver or just buying a home in the Denver area, hopefully some of these tips and learning about Miguel and Julie's journey, through that process have helped you and taught you some things about how that process looks. And we're more than happy to talk to you as well if we can help you in your specific situation of then looking into this process and getting started. We'd love to do that. So we're only a phone call away. Our number and information's here, so you feel free to reach out to us, and we'd love to meet you. So thanks for listening. We'll catch you on the next one.